the journalist cadre, what are the roles, responsibilities of the people working in DPR? How is it a career for youngsters of today?
See what research happens in DEPR. It's more well researched, and there is a long-standing, very sound, rich tradition of research being done. If you
The work mainly contains to the research work, or it goes into the policy making, and if it goes to the policy making, say what level officer, because starting from say grade A, grade B2, then
everywhere there is a Depr person.
right.
Political place, you could say public finance or Depr, you get placed in debt management.
Good morning and very welcome to Exambi.
Very, very good morning. Thanks for the
Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah.
So, Kaushilya ma'am, it's great pleasure meeting you here. And I am talking mainly on behalf of our student, those who are aspiring to become officer in RBI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you come with a deep experience working in DPR. I would like to first understand from you, and I also have a very little understanding about DPR, and our student have much lesser understanding. When there is so much research happening in government, there is Department of Economic Affairs, then what is the need of having a DEPR, and specifically how it is different from the journalist cadre? What are the roles, responsibilities of the people working in DEPR? How is it a career for youngsters of today?
Yeah, you have put it very well. There's a research everywhere around going on. But you should know DPR was established long back. There has
Hmm.
been, statistics and economics together. Later it parted ways because of department becoming bigger. And if you see what research happens in DEPR, it is more well researched, and there is a long-standing, very sound, rich tradition of research being done. If you go to the website, you can see occasional papers. Well researched papers are being published, and nowadays even outside published. Even in annual report, you see box item, which is a well researched piece. And nowadays, I don't know latest, but when we were there, authorship also was given. This, candidates who have done, officers who have done some research work, and that finds place in annual report, you get
Hmm.
authorship. Plus, if you have seen our currency and finance, that is a very theme-based report. I don't think many have it. And in between, we had discontinued because paucity of time and a lot of I think by 2000 or something, somewhere it got derailed. But people were demanding it. So again,
Hmm.
it started. And if you want to see what happened to balance of payment, monetary policy, how it changed, there are theme-based reports in currency and finance. You get full story, in that. You don't have to run around to various reports. There's no gap. Very beautifully it is put. And we also, trend and progress on banking you have. We have
Hmm.
financial stability report. All these are well researched, very, what you say, theme based, and why you say what are the contemporary issues going on there and then in the
Yeah.
division. You can bring it out and blow it out and make it as a research. Yes, economic affairs has got even government has it, but you see the state finance report. RBI
Hmm.
is the only one which is compiling all the state governments together, 28, and now Jammu and Kashmir and all that. With
Hmm.
Puducherry also. And World Bank IMF is after us. When is the report out? Because at one place, and even state government finance secretaries have told me that
Hmm.
whenever we go to the legislative anywhere, we don't go without this Bible.
Great.
There was a time when they wanted to discontinue publication only online.
Hmm. Hmm.
तो उन लोगों ने, because I was working in debt management, I used to keep on interacting with the secretaries, finance secretaries, government. Madam, आप annual report stop कर दीजिए, but don't stop
Hmm.
this. At
Hmm.
one place you come to know all the states, how they're doing their data, where development,
Hmm.
where they're spending, what they're doing. It's an
Hmm.
excellent. So these sort of things requires, a little bit of concentration and, following the story and data and all. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
So one point which I am getting from here, that this research is not only used by RBI in policy making, but it is used by other governments also, including state government and maybe some of the large corporations
Institution.
in private sector also, because this
Yes.
data is otherwise not available.
No. Data point, we are the best. If you see RBI, you go to the site, even statistical department puts it out. There's a
Yeah.
huge enterprise data wide,
Mm,
put it on the website. You get a
mm,
continuous data, and every week it is released. You can see every month, monthly bulletin is there, weekly statistic. It is for the academia and other students. You can use
mm,
it.
yeah.
So that is also there.
Yeah.
It goes
So,
in hand, research and data, is it not?
so ma'am, the work mainly contains to the research work, or it goes into the policy making. And if it goes to the policy making, say, what level officer, because starting from say grade A, grade B to then grade E, grade F, so
Hmm.
where it becomes more like research and where it becomes more like some inputs for policy or directly deciding the policy.
See, this question has been raised since what is my role in policy formulation?
Hmm.
Every grade B who comes asks. But my experience is when you come, start in your desk, be
Yeah.
thorough with your data and be thorough with the area. Relate. Suppose you're in banking or you're in
Hmm.
public finance, be aware of it. You can read related in website of RBI or the government if it's public finance.
Yeah.
You read up that, and then you see something like you're doing trend and progress, and you see some gaps like NPA may could share trend is something like that. You
Hmm.
put up a research piece, not academic research piece, the survey of literature and all. It'll be simple research piece. And
Yes.
if it is, you put it up, and if it is really merit, there is a merit in it, it'll be developed. See, the gold bond scheme, which came out from RBI, is a call out of one of the research papers.
Okay.
So there are many such instances. This I was involved. I was in IDMD, and
Hmm.
we floated the gold bond scheme. But the real moot point or the idea came from one of the papers published by one of the Depr person. So ऐसा
Hmm.
बहुत कुछ आता है, which
Yeah.
RBI takes it. And what we also give provide to monetary policy. Monetary policy is mostly manned by Depr people and
Hmm.
various other department, debt management. You take banking, you take everywhere there is an Depr person.
Right.
After you work in a theoretical place, you could say public finance or deferred, you get placed in debt management.
Hmm.
You're working in trend and progress, it's easy for you to go to banking side.
Right.
Even I did something on the banking, so I went to deposit insurance. Those
Hmm.
days it was a mundane department, but after that it took up because FDIC ke baad, we were the one, and we were the one of the oldest. So
Hmm.
that also for policy formulation, yes, all of us, it's a policy formulation research work. DEP, economic policy research. The name itself says that.
Yes. So, what I am trying to understand from this is we are doing research, but the objective is to affect the policy.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, yes,
And as you go deep in your research, the more will be the influence on policy,
yes,
and not only Reserve Bank policy, but the policy of other institutions, state
yes,
government. Does
yes.
the central government also take something from RBI's research?
Yes, yes, yes. We are much involved in giving them, a lot of pieces for the finance commission. They
Hmm.
interact with us. We have a group, and they take 2 or 3 officers, and they work. I myself have gone and done presentation. I think 14th or 15th. So
Hmm.
especially on public finance, even various areas. See, we are the primary producer of balance of payment data. You know that money
Hmm.
and that. So
Hmm.
there also we contribute, and we tell them the story of how it pans out. State government bonds and what are the other facilities we give state government, central government. So finance commission, we do involve with them. For economic survey, we do a lot of support system. They do ask us kindly do some research work on this and there are people who do it and they get rewarded also.
Okay, so thanks for telling this because this is a very new thing for me. Most of the time in public, we see as if RBI and the Ministry of Finance are always on conflict on something because monetary and fiscal policy are presented like this. But it looks like there is a lot of coordination.
Lot of coordination, lot of budget. So we give lot of proposals from RBI because we have NBFC, we have so many other departments
Yes.
where they do not have much. They would like to get inside view. So
Hmm.
we do send it to them and they do take it. Even for budget paras, we write and give because BOP money hum karte hain and various other department payment system. We want something to be highlighted in the budget. We
Hmm.
do entire consolidate. I was doing sometime when I was in management for the whole bank. So there is always a coordination. So bahar upar upar kuch ho nahi, but there's a lot of coordination.
Right. So, ma'am, now I am getting another question here between DEPR and DSIM because a lot of overlapping seems to be there. A lot of macroeconomic data to be collected. So, how this is divided between DEPR and DSIM? They also do the research, and then how it is presented to the outside organization, say government or state government or in public.
See, in public, it's on the website of RBI.
Hmm.
Depr and DSIM both. DSIM gets more online data and it puts it. Now,
Okay.
if you take RBI, as soon as I joined, we give it to IMF, World Bank on banks data.
Hmm.
It is
Hmm.
published in their report. If you
Yeah.
take World Bank report of data, you get everything. So we also have started. See, it's our legacy that we were also compiling data.
Hmm.
So we can't be kept away. So we too also publish on the website. But
Right.
we see that we don't, give a both of us overlap and give a wrong information. That thing is taken care because mostly both the departments are under one deputy governor, and there's a little bit of demarcation. So that is taken care.
Okay, perfect. So coming back to the journey of starting the job, because most of our audience is that who are looking for making a career in the field of economic research. So, ma'am, if I ask you what inspired you to join RBI, you may also have other career options, and how it is most relevant, more relevant for today's generation.
See, now for economists, there are a lot of options. When I joined in 88,
Yeah.
it was only a assistant professor lecturer. I was doing my MPhil and side by side we were allowed to lecture as a anyway leave vacancy.
Hmm.
And when you're lecturing and when you're studying economics, I'm coming from a small town of Coimbatore. I used to see Reserve Bank, World Bank, IMF in the book, I said, "Ye
Right.
sab kahan hai? Coimbatore, it is not there.
Right.
Chennai, it is there." And one of my
Right.
senior got
Hmm.
selected in 86. After that, 4 years, RBI did not come out for Depr. In
Hmm.
88, they came out. So I said, let me try. I didn't like commercial bank because that time there was lot of scope for commercial bank. And मेरे को
Okay.
then I tried this. I said, let me try. She got it from this, my own college. So I
Hmm.
tried and somehow it clicked and I had little bit, want to join this big institution.
Hmm. Right. Big institution and the reputation of RBI is definitely one of the.
And it's a professional institution. So I have never 3 decades, very comfortable it was. And support system is excellent, whether it's a lateral your own people at your level or your top management just above your officers or below the staff
Hmm.
those times were economic assistants, we were excellent. They were all mostly MAs. They knew their
Hmm.
work well. And now after that gap again they've started appointing economist assistants. They are too good, I'm telling you, as good like a grade B, because some of them are post graduation. Then they write the exam and they become grade B or something. Outside exam also they write.
Right. Right. So, ma'am, can you tell something more about the work, some assignment which you remember, and especially in the early years of the career?
See, I joined in 1988. So then about 3 4 months goes for training and all that.
Hmm.
So 89 I settled and 90 this BOP issue started. And I was posted in balance of payment. So, and I was taking care of the section called foreign exchange reserves. So that time was just mundane compiling foreign exchange
Yes.
reserve review. This much money is coming, that much is going,
Right.
and what is the net every Tuesday. Not
Hmm.
knowing so much importance of this particular review. It will
Right.
go for the next day, Wednesday central board meeting. It will go committee
Hmm.
of central board meeting every Wednesday. So
Right.
Tuesday you have to tally it, everything very simple, straight to page only, no done neatly and all that. But when this balance of payment issue started,
Right.
it became a very important thing, and they were, with the scanner seeing what money, where it went, where it's coming, because very well you need to having a foreign exchange reserve for some amount months of imports. Those days about 6 or 8 months. Don't quote me for the figure.
Yeah.
We were hardly below 6 weeks or so.
Yes.
It's just like having a term contingency fund money, and you are interacting with international community.
Hmm.
So that was a big, what to say, big call for RBI, because you're doing for the entire economy as such, and you are a custodian of Government of India's foreign exchange.
Yes.
So every day I had to monitor, take to the deputy governor. I was just 1.5 years, you say 1 year, because 6 months. And and then I started looking into every, it became very passion for me. And the
Yeah.
strategy was going on. We had the best team that time on top, and Mohan Singh Saab being in government and all that. And strategy was worked out. And we were defaulting almost that time. And you know very well, even at home or family, you cannot default because credibility is very important. Once that falls, it's very difficult to get back. So our top management, they all, my own boss, not like to quote his name, they're all planned it very well. And yes, Bank of England, Bank of Japan, we had kept gold and taken. And in the train, we got a loan and then we came out of it in the local train. That was a fun. I
Mm.
was telling all my relatives. People talking कि gold they have, sent it to Bank of Japan. People well knowledgeable, commission. And when do you do that at home? Dire state. You never
Mm.
pawn gold.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's very
Right.
common.
Yes.
Those days and everybody comes to know you pawn it in dire state and all. So
Correct.
I told them you understand the background in the train. I had to tell you understand the background. In the
Mm.
international community, our credibility is restored.
Yeah.
See, so far there are so many countries which have defaulted, but we
Right.
have been yet maintained in that status, and we have got very good thing. After that, we have got back the gold. Everything was you come
Correct.
back to it.
Correct.
And
So,
during that period, what I noticed, I was working on that. I was also seeing the commercial borrowing we had to do from because that time to tide over the issue,
mm.
and I was monitoring even foreign aid. So I was
Mm.
just telling my boss, we have such a huge chunk of foreign aid. We have
Mm.
never used it. And
Mm.
you pay a charge. It's called some charge. I've forgotten the word. If you don't use it, it's in your kitty. You're supposed to use it. But we are paying a charge on that. एक side
Mm.
you are paying money for this,
Mm.
and one side we don't shortage of foreign exchange reserves. And then a paper came out of that.
Oh.
We were borrowing commercial borrowing at a high rate. Then
Mm.
let's do, and we started, and I started hunting, and we did a paper. It's on the occasional paper. My boss joined, another person also joined, and it was found most of the money was blocked with a those days it was back to back from central government to state government for all this aid, power sector, infrastructure and all. There were so many procedural delays and so many other reasons. So we found out which other thing, and that was a big insight for the government also. So something comes out like this, streak.
No, yeah, I understand because that too in a very early years, and I have also read. I think one general manager from RBI, he has written somewhere a blog that he has to carry the physical gold in a spacecraft. Sorry, in a small private air jet. So then the van which was carrying the gold, it got punctured on the way. So
Yes, even I
yes,
read that.
he has narrated. So the I think that BOP crisis was the lowest point India has seen on the side of the managing the economy. So that was the worst crisis India has seen. And when you are like 2 years in a job and you have such a huge responsibility collecting these data and then meeting the top officials of the bank, then they are coordinating with the government and the things are going at international level. So I can understand the kind of the sense of responsibility which comes in the job. I have a small memory here because in my case it was very lesser, very small thing. So I was doing inspection in the bank that was somewhere in 2006. I was in Hyderabad that too, also not in Mumbai. And we did some inspection. So I found some issues in real estate exposure and I wrote little bit more about it. Then my boss asked me to put up a special note. I wrote a special note. I was not realizing any meaning of it at that time. But after about a month, that note came back with a comment from governor. I was really surprised. What is so important in a small note? But when the global financial crisis came later, then I realized why that kind of action was there. So I wrote a very small note, and it was not that big a thing for me. Means I thought it is a very small thing, but I can understand now when he said that BOP crisis. So that was really a very big thing. Interesting, ma'am.
Reading the data is very important. You need to read
Yes.
the data.
Yes. What aspect of the job, if I go a little deeper about the job, what are the job challenging aspects and what are most fulfilling aspects?
See, fulfilling aspect is this is one of the thing which I said BOP crisis. One more item which I would like to just highlight I was posted in regional offices in charge of all the Depr. I had
Hmm.
one more additional some other charge. So they said you take care of this also fine. But
Yeah.
to motivate the regional office, one person as you have seen where you were posted in Lucknow, one regional Depr is posted and he's
Yes.
got no sort of there is a lot of connection. We do help him out. The umbilical cord doesn't cut from Depot, but
Hmm.
still day to day usko jara motivate karna ye karna because general side should appreciate, is it not? And
Correct.
this boy alone doing it here, so we have all people around us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're alone, and then you have to justify your position there. So I was in charge of that. Now imagine me. There was I think 14 Depr region or something around that. Now, how do I motivate this woman? Then we started a
Mm.
video conferencing. These facilities came later. Then one deputy governor said, do the video conferencing and see how we have regional conferences with these people. So I started
Mm.
doing that. Then I
Mm.
told them, tell me the issues we have. So one will have gut in potato, one will have glut in some onion. I said, why don't you bring it together in 4 different regions? It'll be different issue. We started
Yeah.
putting up that note, which was appreciated. Then I started motivating, तुम जो कुछ भी करो, being a research department, you need to have a paper in your biodata for your interview everywhere. So
Mm.
let's do that. Let's join whomever like-minded people, like-minded areas. You put it together and start doing a paper. It's single, alone, any support I can give you from central office. Getting it verified, your econometrics, work, everything. That became a hit, and a book was published where Depr, Deputy Governor, ED, all have given forward. So that was first of its kind when I started it. So see, these things you just start off. You don't know the end. It
Yeah.
unfolds itself slowly, slowly, slowly. You should not look. Similarly, we did a data point from regional offices. I involved them. You will do agriculture, you will do industry, you will do finance. That also become a hit, and that was published. Then it is taken forward now. When you have to, they can also justify. Start involving them. And what did you say? What are the challenges? Challenges, I would say that any work division you're posted, don't feel it's mundane. People, the moment they've come from, like JNU and all experts, they posted in agriculture division also. You should not become agriculture. उतना RBI को ये नहीं है. But
Yeah.
still, you have a lot of say in monetary policy meetings and all that. You monitor those, data, price data, and all that. Now it's become a very important, even those days. So if you want to make a mark wherever you're sitting, you can do. Even I said regional offices. I did send a questionnaire, asked them to survey in your financial institution, other industrialists. What do they expect from monetary policy? How did feedback of the last monetary policy? How did it pan out? They sent me consolidated, and we just put it. And the governor said, come and present it in monetary policy. You just started to show your presence where you are, innovate, some value addition you do in your, it may take off, may not take off,
Mm.
so it works. That way you
Yeah.
be bold there, there's nobody to stop.
Actually,
Nobody.
now I am feeling little envious to the work what Depr and DSM people do, because when I was in bank, so we used to feel that we journalists are running the bank. But now I am feeling, had I been in maybe DEPR kind of work, so I would have continued in RBI, because after some time in general side, maybe I felt the challenges are
No,
a
no,
little
general
more
side
operational.
also.
Yeah, a little more operational than maybe this kind of deep work. So I want to still talk on this, your views, journalist versus specialist, and the career growth among both when we
This is
talk.
also a age-long or old debate going on, journalist thing. What I would say that work in Depot in some important divisions, wherever you're working, there's always a mirror image department in journalism. Operations side, there is.
Yeah.
I did some little banking. I posted in deposit insurance. I was a economic division was just culled out that time,
Hmm.
created, and I went as a deputy manager, I mean those days grade D,
Great.
and I didn't know it was a clean sheet, a slate. I didn't know how to start it, but
Hmm.
my then CGM there, they said he was interested in economics. Kaushilya, you start, think anything, do nothing is limiting you.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, people are also saying you're posted there and all that. Fine, I said, let me see what I can do it here. But I was in charge of board of the ICGC. I was in charge of audit committee. There a lot of interaction, all agenda to be pushed. But one important thing is there was a list of commercial banks and old banks, I think 1935 and so on, which are not registered with RBI or whether they're covered or not. People, we used to get such questions. Are they insured? Are they this? So there was different list between us and UBD, Urban Cooperative Bank. And all. So there's a little bit of gap there. So I
Hmm.
was telling Deputy Governor when the note was put up, no, no, we should not. Some people had written the comments, my above person and all that, because still we settle down here in
Yeah.
RBI, the list. I wrote that ये settle होने वाला नहीं, it's going on for so long. Let's put it. All will
Hmm.
be serious. And it was done. And even, bringing DICGC in all commercial banks. You see, you open, DICCC का logo आता है. I was involved in the framing of the logo. I went to Ahmedabad, that design institute, and we got the logo different right, and we got it, and we said commercial banks should, on the opening there should be there DICCC, it's insured and all that. It gives a little people started coming to know, there is an insurer for public funds and all that.
Right, right. No, yeah, this kind of knowledge about the work RBI does behind the scene is very less in the public, and that is
See,
one
I
of the
worked
purpose.
in,
Yeah.
I worked in public finance, state and center. When I was posted, I said, this is so mundane, public finances. Central finance is very clear budget, very neat. You know,
Hmm.
the state finances are really complicated. Each will come in vernacular, their language, the budget and all that. Now it's all easy. And
Yeah.
each state government used to, our Depr officer will get it and compile it. And each one at different level compiling, consolidating and all. But that was a beauty in state government. It was
Hmm.
real, you had a lot of policy things you could forward it to state governments here or there. And I got posted in debt management. This background helped me a lot in debt management, where I was involved in so many committees to set the terms for state governments, at what rate they borrow from RBI, the credit they get from Reserve Bank of India, various contingency fund, various terms and conditions. You interact only with the state finance secretaries. There is also a person coming from central government, and I should take other people also from MPD, because liquidity also should be maintained, right? So,
Hmm.
so many committees, contingency fund, consolidated fund, guarantee fund, is a maybe have involved in, framing the policy in different roles. I was at
So,
higher.
ma'am, in case of state government, whether RBI plays very active role in their debt management or it is more advisory?
It is very active. Entire raising of money from the market. No, we
Okay.
I had represented RBI in a World Bank project. Must be I'm just telling about me only. I don't know.
Hmm.
In World Bank in Austria, they had purposely called that those central government which has RBI, monetary policy and IDMD in the central bank. It's something little
Oh.
controversial, right? Having both, you set interest rate on one side and then you borrow at the lowest for the government.
Hmm.
So
Government.
thoda udhar conflict of interest aisa,
Yes.
people
Yes.
considered it, other central banks. So we were
Okay.
three central bank, me, Denmark, I don't know who else was it. We were
Hmm.
called and say, how do you manage it like this? And then you have
Hmm.
so many state governments, you're doing for them all. How do you manage all this?
Hmm.
In RBI, very distinct demarcation is between the debt management deputy governor and monetary policy debt management. There is no collusion
Okay.
at all. Once monetary policy is announced that they rate, that day we don't do any market borrowing. We allow the market to take care of it. Then only we do it. So there is no collusion there at all. Both are demarcated. And debt management has a government also, because you're doing for them, right? Central government. So the
Hmm.
rates, we take a decision for the central government. For state governments, we always send it to them by afternoon, half an hour kuch milta hai for them to. And one eye opener in this particular conference was state governments are not mandatory. Central government mandated to be part of the RBI to raise their money, entire transaction, entire of their remittance, everything RBI takes care, which we are banker, advisor, everything.
Right.
But for state governments, it's voluntary.
Hmm.
They
Right.
want, they could back with us.
Correct.
Sikkim is still not part of it.
Hmm.
And we could be their debt manager. We need not be. But all have signed it. All
All go
state.
with RBI being the debt manager for them.
Yeah. Sikkim also we reached, but we are not their bankers. It's
Right. Right.
managed by one of their thing. And this was I know opener. The Brazil called me, madam, we want you to, we are not able to do for all state governments. So if
Hmm.
something happens, again, central government borrows and gives it to the state governments. So
Yeah.
that is a big issue. It comes on their liability.
Hmm.
So they said, why don't you come and, give us how you do it, what, structure for 3, 4 days and all. This is a big, you feel very nice that somebody is copying our model or interested in our model. Halaki, that time I had my CGM's interview, so I didn't go and my boss went.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
they used to keep writing to us for all doubts and all, how you are not doing and we are not doing. So
Hmm.
these are things, when you go to conferences, you learn from other countries. They learn, you think you don't have. Another conference of IMF I had where they were really surprised that we have to contingency fund for state governments. Contingency fund when we have guarantee redemption fund, we have, so we are a banker. So
Right.
no state governments can, default, so we
Correct.
take care of it, and we also give them the credit line. If ways and means advances,
Within
then they
these
use it look
advances. Yeah.
different. We
Hmm.
give them, so always we can raise that and we can do it, and the very strict structure for that. And this guaranteed redemption and all is there because they can always liquidate if they have some, want to liquidate some of their securities high end rent. So these were framed for them. So these are
Ma'am,
the key.
I'm actually taking little more time than I originally thought
I think
because the topic,
I'm
yeah.
also talking a lot. I think I should restrict.
No, no, that is very helpful for me to understand and for many of the people because there is very little thing available otherwise in the public. How these state government finances, even the conflict of interest between the role RBI plays as a debt manager and the monetary policy. So these things are not known. People don't understand, and textbook also cannot explain it much. I have never found in any textbook these things are explained well because these are very unique functions. So I still want to probe on this conflict, and I have been reading about this when I was in RBI. That time also this debate was happening that
Yes.
RBI has this conflict of interest, and there was a time when government was thinking that they will take back the function of debt management, but somehow they only decided that let it be continue with RBI. So why is it so? If there is a conflict, then why government cannot do this work?
No, they found its conflict is there,
Yeah.
but conflict, it was, people were, sensing there is a conflict because we set
Hmm.
the rate and we borrow at lower rate.
Yes.
You think of the before the debt management, I mean, there's going market related rates. Before that, what happened? It was a big chaos in the market. We were raising money at the rate which was convenient at 14%. The banks had to pay at that rate. Imagine one side you say that you reduce your NPAs, then you
Hmm.
ask them to subscribe to the bond. If it not subscribed, you'll call up and tell them please subscribe at the
Yes.
rate. That was more confusion. Now it's all market related. We have
Hmm.
no way manually or interfering at all. It comes on the computer, on the network. We have a huge network, and there's a cutoff, and that is done. And they have some facility where they can even say 1,000 crore I'll raise, but then I may take 800 if the rates are good. They have that something green or something they may. So a lot of facilities are given. Even state government, they take a call and we tell them what is the secondary market, but they have to take a call on the rates and they do a little bit of this. So there was a complaint, as you said, there was a lot of debate going on, but
Yeah.
then they felt no alternative. This
Correct.
is doing fine. They
Yes.
say,
So the best way is let RBI do it because that is the
why fix if it ain't broken like unnecessarily? All are happy.
Hmm.
All
Correct.
financial institution, banks, all are happy. They know we
Correct.
don't do it for any profit
Hmm.
sharing and all
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
things. Nothing of that sort.
Yes, yes. Ma'am, now coming back to again the work, what are the transfers, posting, and work-life balance, especially you being a woman officer, we understand that we have more responsibilities towards family. So how it is there in RBI overall managing work and transfers, posting, family?
See, those days, Saturday being half a day, oh, it's half a day, sunlight is there, you can work some more time. It may become 6, 7. Now, with online things available, you can work at home and send it and all that. Work life balance is there. Only if you're in sensitive area, you need to immediately, some committee work is going on, you have to respond. Those, I think, a month or so, you have to be on your toes watching it. You yourself can't sleep, right, if you're working on some sensitive work. Otherwise, naturally, other days which are, usual, regular, I don't think it's unnecessarily disturbed. Everybody has got a family, and work life balance is important.
Mm,
And with regard to postings and all that, once you're recruited, seeing your biodata, some you're posted. I had done something in international, they posted me international finance. It may happen, may not happen. There's nothing, rule given. But I
right.
would say that please go around all divisions, because tomorrow you should know what's happening in other divisions. Sitting here, I will not know what's happening in banking unless
Mm,
you soil your hand in the data and the material coming there and notes moving up and down, because you attend the delegates meeting in that area. Annual report, Bank of Japan will come, Bank of England will come, credit rating, all these institutions will come, various institutions will come. So you'll be hearing that all the discussions and you'll get a lot of inputs. And
yeah.
as a grade B, you're invited to, as soon as a recruiter, you invite to all these meetings. I'm meeting World Bank, any of this, BIS and all that. And
Mm,
you are combing the data. So you too have a say on the data, because they
mm,
come with a broader picture of what's published in the annual report. Down below, very down data, you have it, we have it. So we are also allowed to talk and issues, everything, because sometimes some issues Or like that, I know some research institution had published that during those what is that taper tamper and all, we had to borrow at high rate. Is it not? We need to give message what was
Hmm.
happening. But there
Hmm.
was a research paper from oh no, there's a sister concern. No, you borrowed at such high rate and it was a big cost to the government.
Yeah.
But these are done in connivance with the government of India in consultation. And we had to do it's a way of giving a message where we borrowed at high rate. So they don't know. Other party doesn't know entire, what's happening, why it happened. As you say, there are gaps. Everything you can't make it open. But when they came and presented, we told them, oh, that is a issue, that this okay, they tamper it down and all. You can't just make a line that you borrowed at a high rate for government of India. Such thing.
Understand. Yeah. So because you mentioned about getting a lot of exposure with international organization like BIS, IMF, Bank of Japan, Bank of England,
Everybody
other
gets,
countries.
everybody gets,
Yeah,
everybody gets.
everybody gets that. So one is like the opportunities to work with international institutions, and secondly, is there opportunity to get deputed in international organizations?
Yes, there's a lot of opportunity. One is foreign training.
Yeah.
आजकल तो बहुत मिलता है. Everybody gets it. You get
Hmm.
deputation. You get a short deputation of 6 months in Bank of England or Bank of Japan. So many places. Things would have changed now.
Hmm.
Different, BIS.
Hmm.
And then you have being posted in IMF. You get,
Yeah.
as a two levels at IMF. It is there. Various
Hmm.
institutions you have. You yourself find something. Many have been posted in Qatar, Oman. They're doing very well, earning very well,
Right.
stream of people. So
Right.
there's nothing limiting you if you see something. And then you have a golden jubilee where you can go for PhD. There's one
Yes.
more you can apply on your own. You can apply and take, learn on the job and and then you can go and do. And there are many who have done that and come back also. So
Yeah,
opportunities.
one of my friend means batchmate from RBI. He also went on deputation. He is with Bank of Oman, and then finally he quit RBI because he felt that continuing there is going to be more interesting for him. But he was from general side, so it seems like from specialist cadre there are more opportunities.
And
Ma'am, yeah, what shall be the skills people shall have to get into the job? Because that is most important to go into this job. What kind of preparation they shall do? I know that you have prepared long back, but still you may have seen the recent grade Bs who have joined the organizations. So what kind of skills, what kind of talent, what kind of abilities they shall develop to come to DPR?
see, even as you said, you also felt, and I also felt, I just went without knowing anything, the clean slate. And
Yes.
then you slowly develop. So, skill
Hmm.
set is you already have an economist in you, your MA or MPhil, PhD, you have that is there. And if you have an econometrics knowledge and added knowledge,
Okay.
which those days I did not have, but people have learned their econometrics. Those days they used to call professors and take classes, those who want, and seniors who have done excellent in econometrics, they used to take class. Then
Hmm.
IGRD and other finance institutions also you should come and take class. You can go there. Those things are there. So econometrics is a big added advantage because for the research work, which papers you put up,
Okay.
mathematical thing, and all the softwares. But softwares like Python or RAT and so many other software, MATLAB, when I had in DSIM, people help you out. There's no limiting. The support system manpower, they really help you out. And if you want, you can ask for a presentation. That can also be done. And slowly you start doing so. That way, you can develop your skill as you go there, wherever you feel there's a gap.
Hmm. Okay. Ma'am, can you give some tips to the aspirant that what kind of answers they shall write? Because here the exam is descriptive. I think the nature of the exam has not changed much over the year. Maybe the kind of candidate, there may be a little bit change in the syllabus. So, but still, based on your experience, can you suggest something? What kind of answers people shall write?
Descriptive, even those days when I wrote, there was a descriptive part
Yeah,
too. I
yeah,
wrote.
yeah.
But that day, not having this sort of, queries, kya karenge, कि हमको जो पता hai, okay, we had structured it neatly and put it.
Right.
And sometimes the, time is shortage or seeing the marks given, the marks are given, I don't know. We need to structure it that way. If it's a four marks, then you try to structure only that much.
Hmm.
Don't, keep writing active, passive voice. Same उसी को घुमा के रखना. Just write
Right.
straight forward. They know, yes, you know this, you know this, you know this.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that's all.
Hmm. And do we need to make some graphs, some diagram to make our
They were
expression
asking
clear?
off late, it is being done. I don't know. I need to talk to some grade Bs and all that. But in
Uh,
the sideline, if you feel it's more of, uh, who is correcting gets a grasp, you know,
hmm,
LSL
hmm,
model करना है, IS model, कुछ करना है छोटा था करके, you just, if you have to justify that
hmm.
answer, writing 15 lines is, you can summarize in a graph. I,
Right.
this is my personal,
Correct, correct. Yeah,
yeah,
because it varies a lot. It is very unique, as you said, no?
yeah, yeah,
My
that
my
kind of,
my method of answering may be different from yours, but
yeah,
it seems like there is no harm if you can do it
yeah,
in diagram. Hmm.
yeah,
One important point is because there are so many publications of RBI, and especially from the research department, there are so many, and many of these are very useful. There is always a paucity of time. So, what will you suggest to the aspirant? Which publications are very important, and from the publications, what part or how these shall be studied?
See, those days we didn't have access to these publications. So now they have an access.
Yes.
Don't waste your time in reading all those detailed, theme based. What
Hmm.
is current is monetary policy. There's a two-page statement which comes out.
Hmm.
So you can just read that.
Right.
And I have seen, I was on the board, we want to ask you whether interest rate was increased, not increased, is it correct, not? No, you need to, don't have to take a position. They will
Hmm.
only, if you feel against that, you can give your justification. There's always two sides, right, for anything.
Yeah.
So you can read that. And please keep RBI website, I mean the front page open. So
Hmm.
something, regarding, some banking का कुछ circular है. And I remember a person working in stock exchange, some platform somewhere. So people are asking what margins, which has just changed, and then it was on the SEBI and it was on our website. The person should have known because working in that area when I was there. So that
Hmm.
means you're not getting yourself updated. Like when I go for my year thing, I did a paper on finance commission, various finance commissions, how they help the states. Now, after that, after 13, I came out, but I have to be updated to the latest. And I was definitely asked on that. So, your latest area, and it's interesting to read your latest area, what are the developments. So, RBI में front में जो publish होता है, just and the pink papers, current what is happening, वैसा, that much you see. You don't have to go because they know you're not yet an RBI to go
Yeah.
into detailed other research. Like there'll be some speeches in bulletin, just
Hmm.
glance through or to what is a heading and what relate to the two lines. The blank nahi hona hai. You can
Hmm.
always say no, I need to get back on that. There's no harm in that at all. But something very very going on contemporary topic, and something today also I was reading governor making a statement that we don't take a call on the forex rate.
Right.
Yes, we only manage their volatility. So you just read their
Hmm.
one line. Continuously कल से आ रहे सब paper में ना, just jot down in some paper two lines on that. So
Hmm.
you're blank. You may not be asked. I was saying that अरे इतना पढ़ के गया कुछ नहीं पूछा. No, that's a
Hmm.
confidence it builds in you that you know
Hmm.
all this.
Right. Ma'am, how difficult is the interview stage then? What kind of questions normally are being asked in interviews?
See, usually it is from your biodata. Okay, and when I was there, one that chief secretary was there, very excellent person, and we have from general side some 2 3 people from outside, certain bank,
Hmm.
retired some. They first give you a chance. Why don't you speak about you? What's your strength? What's your which area? You get an
Hmm.
opportunity. Use that and be within that. Don't try to impress them. Only this much I know out of 10, 3, just say 3. That's enough. They just want to know. You give me an opening, I'll ask you in that comfort area. That is a thing. And also, I would say into जाने के पहले थोड़ा IMF, World Bank, those two, especially IMF, just see any research papers have come out or something have come out, G20 or something like that. Two lines. Economist means you're aware everything is under your cap. So two lines. Otherwise, interview your biodata, you've done well, you're able to put it across. Honesty comes out. Yes, you've done this. Yes, I've done.
So
But
overall, if I can ask, overall in the preparation, one side it is theoretical knowledge, other side it is the current affairs, what is happening in local level, global level. So how much is the balance required? Means how much you have to be updated about the current thing versus the economic theories.
so economic theory and economists will be sitting there from the person to
Yeah.
person. They're not going, they'll see your work you've done in industry. What is ISLM curve? Have you used it somewhere? They'll see some papers you've published. If you're MPhil, PhD, you do have a paper thesis submitted and all that. So they may ask you what work you've done in that thesis. What do you know about that? You say they will not drill you so much in the econometrics work you have. I said, yeah, I worked on this and these were the findings. You should be able to, connect and say something on that, not be blank.
Yes, ma'am, we got it. So this is useful. Ma'am, I have actually already taken longer than what I was expecting because
No
the
problem.
conversation went deep on knowing about the work of Depr, which is very,
Yeah,
very interesting for
yeah.
me. Lot of personal learnings. Ma'am, anything you want to suggest, advice from your side for the aspirants of today who are looking for making career in department like DPR?
Yeah, I would just tell them that the best institution to work, professional organization, is excellent when you get in. Just get in and see that. And when you pass both the exam, tap yourself. You have done well. That confidence is required. You have done well. The interview is the last leg. Go there with open mind. Your biodata, you know everything. You've read up here, fine. Something gaps are there, leave it off. You can always say no. They give you a chance. Out of 10, your answer 5. You can always say 2, I need to look back at that. I have to come back on that. There's no one. So go with an open mind and give your best shot there. And you have achieved so much, 80%. That you should remember. So confidence wearing a sleeve is very important, right?
Right,
So
right.
I would say do your best. It will be.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for this time and for deep insights about the working of RBI in general and DEPR in particular. We are very grateful for your time and for your insights. It's pleasure meeting you, ma'am.
It was my pleasure also to share.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so
Thanks
much.
a lot. Thank you.